everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dialing In for our Line 6 Helix. This week I am looking at another model that I've had a few requests to do, which is the dual rectifier, the Cali Rectifier, which is the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier amplifier. It's an amp that I've tried a few times in real life. It was actually, to be honest with you, never one of my favorite amps to use in real life. I was never a huge Boogie fan, but actually, you know what? This is pretty good for some particular purposes. I did a performance video like I've been trying to do with a lot of these where I used the lead channel. This is going to be a 4-snapshot preset again. And I did an Avenged Sevenfold song. It's another, I'm trying to get through a bunch of requests I've had. A lot of requests to do an Avenged Sevenfold guitar solo, and I'd never really listened to them or played them. Back when years ago when I was teaching guitar a lot, I'd have a lot of requests to teach some of their solos, and I'd learn them really quickly, or get some of the licks going really fast. So this was kind of new to me. I did this on Bat Country, and I don't know at all whether they ever even used a dual rectifier in that band. Maybe they have. I really don't know much about them. So, but if you want to hear how this patch sounds, and again, this is not me trying to make it sound like them, it's just that I thought, yeah, it works nicely for this. So go check out the other video that I have up at the same time I'll be posting this. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's go over to HX Edit. I tried my best to get a clean sound out of this. It's not a really clean amp. So it was tough to get something super clean, but I'm still going to call it clean, but it's kind of edge of breakup. So I went clean, push, overdrive, and lead, okay? I really did a lot of similar things that I normally do, but there's a few things that I played around with as well. My LA Studio comp, I ended up bumping the peak reduction up to 6, just for, especially with the lead, to get it to sit in the mix nicely. But other than that, those settings are pretty much the same. Again, EQ, didn't use any of it other than low cut and high cut. This is just, a lot of people are asking me, why do you put it in there if that's all you're using it for? And simply because I have my template set up that I use, and there it is, right? So I don't bother taking it out and replacing it with another block. It's just not an issue, right? Reverb, very subtle room on the legacy reverb, 11 millisecond pre-delay, decay at 3.5, mix at 25%, just to give it a bit of an in-the-room sound, right? Delay is only on the lead snapshot, so we'll come back and talk about that. Now, split crossover I use quite a bit in this one. 650 hertz it's set at, normal place that I do set it. Depending on the snapshot though, the clean, I had everything above 650 hertz boosted by 6 dB. Throughout all the snapshots, everything below was brought back by 1 dB. But what happens here is as we go through our snapshots, you'll notice on the push snapshot, I boost everything above 650 hertz by 7 dB. When I go to the overdrive snapshot, I boost everything up 8 dB, and this is the crazy one. When I go to the lead, I boost everything up 12 dB. Now, a lot of people might go, wow, that's kind of nuts, right? But let's go over to the cab that I used, which is the stock cab that comes up with the rectifier, the 412 Cali V30. But because I used the ribbon mic, the 121 ribbon, which is a very dark sounding mic, that's what allows me to then go in and boost these highs up so much. And what it does is it still kind of retains the nice warmth and bottom end, I find anyways, in my opinion, of the 121 ribbon, but you can get those, you can really boost the high end in those, and it still doesn't get too abrasive or grainy. Although with this preset, I did go a little more than I normally do into that abrasive, edgy sound, which might be good for some, to help that lead cut through some sort of dense metal mixes and whatnot. And you can tell me what you think of it in, like I said, the performance video I did with the Avenged Sevenfold Bat Country song, okay? So the mic was a 121 ribbon, distance at 5.5 inches, all right? Now let's go to the amp settings. Well, let's take a look at our clean. Our clean, look at this, I have the drive set at 0. Bass at 6, mid at 6.5, treble and presence both at 10. The mid, treble, and presence, obviously, because they're not white and bracketed, they don't change throughout the snapshots, right? The channel volume obviously does just to try and balance these as they switch through the snapshots. The master at 6.6. And the way that sounded on the bridge pickup here, Godin Progression Plus with a Seymour Duncan JB Jr. If I go to the neck pickup, So I don't know, there's a different clean sound. Like I said, it's not really clean. If you go to the bridge, dig into it, it breaks up a bit. But that's about as clean as I could get that sounding. It's okay. And again, slightly on the thinner side of things, right? So let's go to our push snapshot. Like I mentioned, the split crossover, high frequencies get boosted up 7 dB there. The drive bumps up to 2, bass goes up to 4.9, channel volume to 9.7, and master to 6. And everything else just stays the same. And that sounds like this on the bridge position. Neck pickup. Back to bridge. Can see those are going to cut through quite nicely. Okay. What do we do then on snapshot 3, which is our overdrive? Well, the drive gets a huge boost up to 7, bass at 4.6, channel volume comes down 8.6, and master is down to 3.9, okay? On the bridge position, that sounds like this. Neck. Back to bridge. Now, I mean, if anybody finds that that's too thin, and again, I purposely dialed this in slightly more on that edgy sound without the big bottom, but you could always come into your split crossover here, add a little more bottom back into it, or just attenuate some of these, right? I had that at 8. If I bring that back here to 4, right, back to 8. A lot of that's going to be personal preference, right? And I liked it in the mix I was using. It was cutting nicely, right? So that's why I ended up going up there, okay? What about the lead snapshot? Well, like I've already mentioned to you, I boosted this all the way up to 12 dB, right? Which is kind of crazy. The drive on the amp up to 9, bass at 3.1, channel volume at 8.6, and master at 3.9. I also brought my transistor tape delay in. I set the tempo to 126 just for the fact that that's what, well, the tempo on bad countries actually, you know, it depends on how you look at it, at 252, 126. But I set it at 126, quarter notes, feedback of 18%, and the mix fairly high at 35%. That sounded like this. Sorry for the little flub notes there. So that's the idea. It is a thin tone. It's going to cut a lot. But again, here's the thing. A lot of people might say, why did you boost it up 12 dB? That's crazy, right? And it is, except for the fact, like I mentioned before, that I was using a ribbon mic. If I was to take this ribbon and change it to a 57, even moving this back like to 1 inch, all of a sudden, to me, that's really thin sounding. Even pulling that back's gonna right? But if I play a chord and then move that up to the 121 dynamic, you'll hear the difference. So you can hear how it is thin, but it still has a bit of nice warmth in the bottom, you know? And again, if that's too much for you, simply come over to the split crossover, bring that back. Which is gonna work too. It really depends on what you want out of it, right? So that's basically the preset. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it's Rectifier-ish, Mesa Rectifier-ish enough for you. But go take a listen to Bat Country, where I played the solo from that with the harmonies and everything. The backing track I had already had the rhythm guitar, so the rhythm guitar is not my tone here. So all you're hearing is the leads and the harmonies for all the lead parts. As you'll see I'm playing in the video, will be this preset with absolutely no post-production done after the fact, all right? So hopefully you guys enjoy it. This will be up on Custom Tone now. Go grab it. You know, it might not be the type of patch that some of you like. It might be perfect for others. So, but again, you can tweak it, and I hope it's just a good starting point for you guys. You'll have to tweak it to your guitar and your monitoring system, etc. Right? Another thing I want to mention, I have a new album out. You can go to my website, which the link is in the description and all that. I always appreciate the support if anybody wants to go grab a copy and take a listen to it. It's entirely Line 6 Helix tones. So if you want to hear an album that was done front to back with Helix tones, then that's the one you can hear it on. Lots of guitar playing on it. Marco Miniman, who I've worked at many times in the past, good friend of mine. He plays drums on all the tracks, and a stellar bass player from up here in Canada. Lives a few hours away from me. Jason Henry just knocked it out of the park on it. So, and Tony Levin also plays a Chapman stick on a track, so that's kind of cool. So go check it out, and appreciate the support if you guys want to grab a copy of it through iTunes, Google Play, my website, CD Baby, Bandcamp. It's available at Amazon, you know, all of these places. So anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk soon.